So this is July the 23rd now, and I don't know if you can really see, but it is definitely getting busier. Princess Street, the main shopping street of Edinburgh, is busy today. There was more people about than I've seen. Even quite a few people wheeling suitcases about, which means that the tourist industry is starting to pick up a little bit, although I think obviously it'll be more homegrown tourists than those from abroad. There's more cars about. There's definitely more people about. And you can tell it's summer because it's poured with rain for the last 2 days. In fact, it's only today that it's, well, this afternoon even, that it's dry. See the shops open, cafes open, people going in now, not just takeaways. The pub across the road from where I work, which has been shut since March, is back open, although they've got barriers over the door to stop people going in unless there is space inside for them. Because in Scotland we're still supposed to be observing the 2 metre, although I think that's only a metre if you're in bars and restaurants. I don't know, it's difficult to keep track, frankly. But there's definitely more activity, which is good. There you go, there's Cuckoo's Bakery. It's open, not much sign of life. Oh, there's somebody going in. Everything's still quiet. I mean, there are people out and about, but I don't know how many are actually in shops and things anymore. A friend of mine's meeting a pal of his at a pub in Edinburgh tomorrow. Southsider up the bridges, if anyone knows Edinburgh. But he's had to book a table in advance, you know, and obviously there'll be social distancing there and all this kind of thing. I'm not going to bother going along. It's just a wee bit early yet, but that and the fact I'm up at 6, I'm at work from 6 in the morning, so frankly, I'm usually knackered by the end of it anyway. So, this is Edinburgh so far. We dodge all the potholes. That's all the parking here today. Terrible conditions some of these roads are in. So nothing to report Zoomer wise. The cable for the iMap is with my friend up in Dunfermline. He's still isolating for health problems, so he's not out and about yet. So, you know, there's no hurry. We'll get it when we can, and we'll have a look and see if the iMap is doing anything, and see if we can up the fuel rate a bit at the higher revs, because that's really what it's needing. It's you know, it's getting to 35, and then, well, according to this air fuel meter, it's running, well, it's getting to 30 and running lean. So, you know, it's only really happy in the mid-20s and sort of half to 3/4 throttle, anything more than that, and you're pushing it into lean. So we've still got that to do. Other than that, I'm quite pleased that 2 days of torrential rain and my cheap Chinese air fuel meter is dry and working. It's not full of water, although I did run some silicone around the edge to try and prevent that, so that seems to have worked. The coastal gauge is obviously a properly made device. You would expect that to uphold the weather, and indeed it is doing so. Bus service in Edinburgh isn't back to normal yet, though there are more on the road. The Botanics here, the Botanic Gardens, my favourite place in Edinburgh. Again, you can't just walk in at the moment, you've got to book. You're not allowed to just walk in. I'm hoping that's going to change soon. It's a good place to visit when the weather's nice. I think Boris Johnson's in Scotland today to celebrate 1 year of becoming Prime Minister, although ironically the efforts of his government have probably done more to boost the cause of Scottish independence in the last 3 or 4 months than anything in a while. Nicola Sturgeon, who's the First Minister of Scotland, has come out of the oh yeah, you just wander over there, has come out of the coronavirus situation with a lot of credit. Boris Johnson maybe slightly less so. Actually, I've just noticed something, the rain's affected here. You see that right indicator there? The bleeping sound's gone. So it looks like rain has got into the bleeper. I'll have to swap them out if it's knackered it. I might try and reposition them somewhere so it's not going to hit the rain. The bleepers are only, £2-3 on eBay. I think I've actually got a spare one somewhere. So there's a wee job. That's me saying nothing to do with the zoomer. We need a new bleeper on the right indicator. It was a bit quieter yesterday actually, because it's been 2 soaking days riding to and from work, and then the bike sits out all day, of course, waiting for me to finish. It's been running fine, there's no problem there, starting and running as it should. But that bleeper was, the volume was reduced yesterday and it seems to have disappeared completely today, so that's fine. We'll swap that out, have something to do at the weekend. Put them in such a way as you can just unplug them, because they're only being £2 or £3, they're not going to last forever, so it's easy enough to swap out and swap a new one in. So we'll have to do that. Charity shops, that one's getting changed into something else or redeveloped, but charity shops are back open. It's good news, that's where I get most of my clothes. I'm not one for shopping in high street stores. I'd rather spend the money on more interesting things. So yeah, life is slowly returning to Edinburgh. But of course there's always the ever-present threat of a second wave, which people are worrying about. And a return to lockdown, which would be a complete disaster. Whoa, you really are making your mind at the last minute, missus. I see you there. So hopefully we're not going to get hit with that. Big hotel in Edinburgh, Cali Hotel along the road from where I work. 65 staff to be made redundant, announced today out of 280 odd they have. So it just goes on and on. The job losses keep coming at the moment. So far, I've not been hit, but it is going to come because the place I work was supposed to be up for major redevelopment next year anyway, so we knew it was only a finite length of time left. The question is, has the virus brought that closer or further away? Closer in the fact that the retail side is dying and the landlord wants to offload it, or further away in that the owner of the building, who is a billionaire, has taken a hit and maybe doesn't have the money he had before to spend on it. Although, let's face it, if you're a billionaire, you'd have to take some hit to suddenly not be a billionaire anymore. But we've heard nothing in the 2 or 3 weeks I've been back at work, so we turn up, we do the job, and we just wait and see. Everyone's in the same boat, so that's just the way it goes at the moment. I'm still putting money possibly aside for a 125. Back to bikes again. Much as I love my little zoomer and I wouldn't be getting rid of that, I'm kind of hankering after a bit more range and occasions a bit more speed again. But of course that would mean redoing the CBT. There's a local motorbike trading centre, literally 5 minutes walk from where I live. But I think they said something that CBTs are fully booked up for the next, is it 9 weeks or 13 weeks or something like that, but it's far ahead anyway, so it's not something I'm in any rush to do. If I was going to do it, the thing is, if you're going to buy a new bike or even a second-hand one, you're probably best to do it in the winter months anyway, because there tends to be more available, and the dealers are, if you're going new, are more keen to strike a bargain, or strike a deal. come up with some offers, so it's not something I don't want to do at this time of year. Anyway, but there is a little savings fund going together now. Of course, if the job goes, that savings fund might have to be spent on more important things, but you know, it's there. It's a little project. There's a few hundred in it just now. I'm probably thinking along the lines of either a second-hand Honda or Yamaha maybe, or I'll, you know, Lex Moto and buy a new one. Now I know people say, oh, Chinese bikes, but at the end of the day, Lex Moto have a pretty good reputation. The parts and things to buy are cheap, and I think if you just wandering along on his bike holding up the traffic, I love it. Oh god. So yeah, let this lady cross. So that's the thought. So the Lex Moto have just released a kind of PCX clone called the Aura, which is okay. I don't like some of the stuff. I don't like some of the dash on it, but you know, I could live with it. It's a lot cheaper than a PCX. I do quite like the Diablo they've got. That's quite sporty looking, and it's cheaper as well. It's 1,500, I think, plus the on the road cost. So, you know, it's always a thought. If things work out alright over the next few months, we might dip our toe in the 125cc water again. But we'll see. Preferably a low mileage second-hand Honda scoot would be my choice, but which is why it's probably best to leave it till the winter months, when people are more inclined to sell than they are to buy. So that's what we'll do. Keep you posted on that, of course. Might have to start a new channel if we get a different bike. I'm on Instagram now, by the way. Decided to launch a Scottish Zoomer channel on Instagram, so if you've not checked that out, have a look. Some of the pictures will be familiar from earlier things I've put up, but you know, there's maybe some new stuff you haven't seen. It's a bit disconcerting not having this light bleeping at me. I'm used to it. Oh, let me move this out. Fair enough. So yeah, that's this now. Scottish Zoomer is on YouTube, it's on Instagram, and it's on Tumblr. I don't know if anyone really bothers with Tumblr, frankly, but I quite like it. It's a place I keep all my photos and links to all my videos, so it holds everything. But as to whether anyone bothers much with Tumblr, I'm really not sure. I don't think I've got many followers, put it that way. Instagram's picking up quite a lot of followers. So yeah, check the social media out. It's always good to hear from you, or to get a like, a subscribe, a follow. I shall happily follow you back. It's good to know you're out there and interested in what's going on up here in Scotland and with my old Zoomer. So just going to crawl along there to make me stop again. It's alright if you've got four wheels, it's not so easy you've got two. Tram works have all started again along here, as you will see in a few minutes. If we end up getting stuck in traffic, I'll just end this video. Nobody wants to see the back of somebody's car for hours. This is at the shore, always nice for a look. Very picturesque. Here we are back at the tram works, which is proceeding. I think it's about 18 months of this ahead. So, as we're now stuck in roadworks, I shall bid you all cheerio. That's just a quick update, let you know what's happening in my world, and if I have anything new to report, I shall put it up very soon. Thanks as always for watching. Like and subscribe if you can. Follow us on Instagram. And if you're on Tumblr, follow us on Tumblr. There must be somebody out there who's on Tumblr. And I shall speak to you all soon. So thanks for watching, guys, and all the best wherever you are. Ride safe. Cheers now.